review. Book one, what is all about. The books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. She is a cycling or cycle breaking coach, a guide to reparenting and parenting and nurturing emotional well being. No other than Miss Lisa Watson.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to Book 101, Miss Lisa. And can you please introduce more about yourself?
Yes, I am. As you said, I'm a reparenting coach and I help people break cycles and heal through deep inner child healing. And I'm also an author. I write children's books to help so that the next generation won't have to do all this deep healing that the past generations have had to do because of, our unknowingly not supporting them in their authenticity and their emotional development. So I write children's books. I'm a coach. I help women free themselves from toxic relationships and heal from self sabotaging behaviors through inner child healing and the reparenting method that I developed. And I also wrote a book called Reparent Yourself to find healing in all your relationships. It is not officially out yet, but it is being worked on with a publisher at this time.
So let's talk about that, Miss Lisa. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom today. Healing the inner child, a journey to authenticity and empowerment. What does healing in the inner child mean to you, and why is it essential for authenticity and empowerment?
Well, the way that it works, what I have discovered in my own healing journey is that well, let me just start with this. This is 101 book review, right? And you
Yes,
asked me what book was influential to me. And my
definitely.
answer to that is The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. That book was instrumental in assisting me down this path this quest that I went on to heal the inner child, basically, because in that book, Bruce Lipton basically talks about how our subconscious beliefs are what shape our reality and that they're not genetic, that we're in control of them. And that the other important piece that he taught me in this book is that our body mind, the chemical, the hormones that are running through our body, just the way that we were raised, our body essentially, its memory, it has a mind of its own, but that we are ultimately in charge of our body's mind. We're in charge of our thoughts. We're in charge of our emotions. So it's just a matter of taking back control over those and understanding your own self, having heightened self awareness. So, in this heightened self awareness, what you start to realize is that when there's a lot of subconscious programs. It's the subconscious programs, and these subconscious programs were picked up during our first 7 years of life. So, the way that it works is we're born into this body, which I like to call an avatar. We're spiritual beings that are coming into this avatar being, and the brain is like the operating system of the avatar. When it gets here, it's essentially kind of blank. And what happens over the next 7 years is that this avatar is in a hypnotic state, a theta brainwave state, literally the brain of a child. They're walking around absorbing absolutely everything as if they're being hypnotized. And they don't filter out any information. They're just a product of their conditioning, of their environment, of the modeled behaviors that are happening to them. And they're shaping their belief system based on how they're spoken to, what is said to them, and what they see people modeling in the world. This is happening during the first 7 years of life. So the subconscious mind is essentially the inner child. So if you want to change your reality, if there are subconscious beliefs running under the surface, like maybe what you believe about money or yourself, you don't think you're worthy or deserving. Maybe you don't believe that, men are ever any good or that you're not capable of doing something. If that's your belief, then that's the reality that you'll create. If you want to change your reality, you want to change your income, you want to change your relationships and how you feel about yourself, you have to change it on a subconscious level. You have to know what are the beliefs of my inner child, whether that is the subconscious mind. So this reparenting and inner child work is so important because what you're doing is you're hacking into your system via the inner child to change the programming so that you can change your reality. It's really big stuff. It matters.
Really big, Miss Lisa, and tell us, parent yourself to find a healing in all your relationships. What is all about?
So when what it's about is relationships, they're our greatest teachers. And typically when we're being triggered by our significant other or a family member or someone like that, and we feel something, what I teach people to do through the reparenting process is to tap into how it is you feel, to get present in the moment. Okay. Somebody, let's say you're talking to your significant other and they're always on their phone and you don't feel like they ever listen to you. You say something, maybe they interrupt you, they talk over you, they don't validate what you say. You never feel seen or heard by them. So every time they do it, you get like frustrated. Like, I just don't feel seen or heard. In those moments, we want to tap into how we're feeling. I don't feel seen or heard. When have I felt like this before? And if we can connect with the smaller parts of ourself, our inner child, and we can and just sit with it, you are going to be brought back to a time or a memory. It doesn't even have to be something specific. It may just be a feeling that you have, like, oh yeah, I always felt that way around my mother. Or, my parents were never too busy to listen to me. I was always told, children should be seen, not heard. So the inner child has this wound that it didn't get listened to. It needs connection, it needed validation. So what happens is we create these experiences in our life that will mirror back a situation to us where we're looking to resolve it. If I can just get my spouse to listen to me, then I'll be healed, I'll feel better. And we're always looking outside to get things to change so that we can feel balanced within. Well, that's the completely opposite of how it actually works. We need to go in and heal the relationship that we have with our inner child. We need to fix it with her or him ourselves. And then those things out in our reality, they won't trigger us so much because we're filling our own cup. So in those moments, we sit with it and we're like, you're right. Like when we were little, mom never was able to listen to us. Dad was never home. I know that this triggers you and it makes you feel not seen and heard, but I'm here for you now. And you start parenting yourself the way you wish that your parents had parented you. You say everything to yourself that you wish they said to you because the past is gone. It's been proven through quantum physics that there is no linear time, that all time is stacked on top of each other. The past doesn't exist. The future doesn't exist. All we have is this now moment. So your inner child's stuck back on a timeline that doesn't even exist anymore. So we take that inner child, we bring him or her home to us, and we say, we're not 5 or 6 anymore. We get to use our voice now. We get to make our own decisions, and understanding that whatever mom and dad did, it wasn't about you. They were doing the best that they knew how as a parent because maybe this is how their parents parented them. You are worthy and you are deserving of being listened to. And just because they weren't able to do that for you doesn't change how perfect you are. And I'm going to listen to you now. So then you have to actually start listening to your own inner child. What does your inner child need? Does it need to use its voice and tell someone, hey, could you put your phone down and listen to me? This is really important that you hear me. We
Mhm.
just get to redo the past, basically. We get to show up the way we wanted to. Our parents, the way we wanted our parents to show up for us, we get to show up that way for ourselves. And this heals us internally, which in turn will end up reflecting out into your relationships because you'll be safe. You'll feel more confident to use your voice in letting people know what your real needs are because you're filling your own cup and you're understanding that no one's coming to save you. You have to do it for yourself.
Miss Lisa, how does your book differ from other self help books focus on relationships and personal growth?
Can you repeat the first part of that question?
How does your book differ from other self help books? Focus on
My belief
relationships.
from other self-help books?
Yes.
Well, I have been reading self-help books since I was about 14 years old, and I'm in my 50s. So, I've read a lot of books, a lot of self-help books, and they have all shaped me in, a little bit. Um, I would say, like, gosh, like 30 years ago when I was in my first marriage, I was listening to a lot of Marianne Williamson on relationships. And I remember how much she really, really helped me. Um, and I think that when it comes to relationships and all the self help books that I've read, which I've written one now too, um, basically, the gist of what I learned from them is personal responsibility, and that we have to be responsible for our own behaviors and filling of our own needs, and that relationships aren't about having somebody fill a need for you or give you something that you don't aren't giving to yourself. That the most important relationship we have is the one with ourselves.
How does the book address healing from past traumas or challenging childhood experiences?
My particular book, that I wrote, Reparenting Yourself to Find Healing in All Relationships, addresses that through inner child healing, that we we go back and we do trauma healing through inner child healing. And it's not about reliving the trauma or doing talk therapy around the trauma, because that only anchors those feelings more into the present moment, where, as I said earlier, there is no past, there is no future. We only have the now moment. The important thing is that the inner child is seen, that we have to go find our inner child, the one that was traumatized, and we have to rescue that inner child and speak to it, understanding that their trauma comes from their perspective, a perspective of a being that doesn't have a fully formed brain, that the being that does not have a prefrontal cortex, so is not able to understand logic or reasoning or things like that, like mom was cranky because of finances, or you know dad was yelling because he drank alcohol or had a long day at work. Like, they don't understand that. They just understand there's something wrong with me. You're mad at me. I'm not good enough. I need to be different. And so we have to rescue our inner child from that perspective, helping them to understand the way things really were and the way they are. We don't parent like that. We typically, people parent in a way where they just expect the child to know, as if they already have this fully formed brain and have been here on planet Earth, you know, already, and remember everything. Like, they're just expected to know. We don't understand that children's brains are literally forming during this time, and that they're supposed to make mistakes. They're not supposed to remember things. They don't know this stuff, and they need you and to be their frontal lobe for them. They need you to teach them about emotions and say, "Oh, it looks like you're really frustrated. Yeah, when we get frustrated, we just want to hit things, huh?" And we validate their experiences for them instead of shaming them for them. That's the key.
Miss Lisa, thank you for that key. And how do you define healing in the context of relationships, both with oneself and others?
That the answer to that is really what I said in the previous question. It's about healing yourself. In the context of relationships, we all need to focus on our own selves. I like to say, keep our eyes on our own paper. It's up to us to fill our own needs. It's up to us to take care of our own selves, and our partners should complement that and be supportive of that. But we shouldn't be giving ourselves away or becoming someone else or feeling responsible for other people's emotional well-being or anything. Really, we just need to take responsibility for our own stuff.
Definitely responsible enough, people. And how does your book guide readers to identify unhealthy patterns in their relationships?
Well, you identify healthy patterns when it feels because it feels good. Healthy patterns feel good. Non-healthy patterns do not feel good. And my number one rule in relationships is that if you are emotionally dysregulated at any time, which I do realize that some people may not even understand what that means to be emotionally dysregulated, but basically it means if you're not feeling in peace, if you're feeling angry or sad or anything other than just, you know, nothing, you're just at peace and good. If that happens, it's about self reflection and asking yourself, what do I need in this moment? What is happening for me right now? Do I need to address this with my inner child? Do I need to walk away? But the one thing we don't want to do in relationships when we're triggered is continue to try to have a conversation with our significant other when we're not in our conscious mind. And when we're triggered, we go into our subconscious mind. So, my first rule is once things get heated, end the conversation, take a break, like in boxing, go to your corners, go tend to your emotional regulation, go get calm, do what you need to do, and then come back and discuss it with a fresh head.
Miss Lisa, as a coach, as an author, what are your short term and long term goals?
Well, my long term goals as an author, I have plans for over 39 different children's books. My first children's book, Courage Finds His Calm, is being released in bookstores on August 5th. It can be purchased pre-order anywhere you buy books right now. Courage Finds Its Comments for 3 to 7 years old, 3 to 7 year olds. It's a rhyming book to help teach emotional regulation. And I have plans for over 39 more. So there's 13 different series. Each series has 3 books in it to cover that subconscious period of time from 0 to 7. And then my book, Reparent Yourself to Find Healing in All Relationships, that I'll be working on as well, should come out sometime next year. And those are my long term goals, and to continue to expand my coaching practice to bring more help and awareness to women who are in toxic relationships and looking to heal from them or get out of them. And I offer a coaching program right now. I have a 3 month coaching program that I'm offering for women to help them do like an intense 12 weeks to develop the tools they need to be more empowered in their relationships. It's called Sacred Reboot, and you can find that information on my website under coaching.
Good luck to your goals, Miss Lisa, and looking forward for more and more success in life. And what are your piece or what is your a piece of advice for those people out there who want to be a coach as well as to be an author too?
Oh, my piece of advice, go for it. If you want to be a coach, just start, just do it.
Do it. Yeah.
That's my advice. Coaching is something that's just so it's such a unique practice because there's so many people out there. Just life experience in general has taught us so many things, and there's something that you're good at. Any listener that is listening to this right now, you're good at something. Even if you're just 10% better at something than other people, then you have something to offer, because there's 10% people below you that maybe don't know what you know, and you can teach it to them. And I think a lot of the time in coaching, we judge ourselves too much and we think, well, I can't be a coach because I don't know this or I don't know that or I haven't studied this yet. I want you to think about what you do know. What can you teach? What are you good at right now that people could actually learn from you? Maybe there's people who already know what you know, and maybe they know a lot more about the thing that you're going to talk about than you know about. But there are people out there that don't know as much as you know, and they're waiting for you to show up to lead them the way. So jump right in if you want to be a coach.
Yes, go, 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 people. Stop procrastinating. If you have the passion of coaching or writing, share to the world. And Miss Lisa, thank you so much for your advice. And can you please recommend a books that influence your journey or book that influence your journey?
Oh, I think I let the cat out of the bag when I said The Biology of Belief from Bruce Lipton. That really influenced me. In my younger years, all the Wayne Dyer books, personal development books by Wayne Dyer, like Setting Intention. I must have listened to Wayne Dyer on cassette tape for thousands of hours in my 20s. I absolutely love him. And I would just say, anyone who is speaking about positive things and in the now moment, even Eckhart Tolle, like there's so many great books out there, but I say read them all. Personal development is my favorite things to do, and it's just absolutely so rewarding.
Yes, thank you so much for your recommended books, Miss Lisa. And what research or expertise did you draw on while developing the concept of reparent yourself to find healing in all your relationships?
I think in childhood development is really a really big foundational aspect of what I do. I am working towards my PhD in integrative health medicine, and I have studied many different modalities and things, and have lots of coaching experience and degrees and things like that. But honestly, the most influential thing is truly understanding the child's brain and how it develops and what they are capable of and what their perception is. I think that that information is so critical for the common person to understand and know. After all, we are raising human beings and we are human beings ourselves. So, another book that I really loved is by oh, I just drew a blank on his name, Joe Dispenza.
Yes,
Evolve Your Brain. All of Joe's books are also great, but I really, really enjoyed Evolve Your Brain because it taught me about what is in my own head and how it works. And I'm like, everyone should understand this. This is a user manual for a body, which we all have, and we should know how it works. So I highly recommend that too.
yes, and thank you so much again. How can readers apply the principles of parenting themselves to improve relationships with family, friends, or partners?
Just, as I said before, the examples of like inner child healing, that is the reparenting. So, literally, just tuning into yourself. Self awareness is the absolute first step in any healing journey, healing within your relationships. We have to have awareness, self awareness. And be able to just kind of step outside our bodies, get a more of a bird's eye view, and observe ourselves without judgment. Observe our patterns, observe our behaviors, observe where you get triggered, what makes you mad, what makes you happy, how do you self-sabotage yourself, what kind of self-talk do you have? Just really start observing yourself is the absolute first steps in healing your relationships.
Definitely. And Miss Lisa, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season as well. Comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast Law 101 and Mental Health 101, Love Letters in third season, and my Movie 101 Review and Music 101 in its fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. Miss Lisa, what do you hope readers will take away from Reparent Yourself to find healing in all your relationships after finishing reading it?
I hope that readers will take away the understanding of how truly powerful we all are, and that we seriously can create the reality that we desire by focusing on becoming the master of our thoughts and the master of our mind and accomplishing it through the reparenting process through inner child healing.
Definitely. Miss Lisa Watson, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So can you please invite our listeners to support your coaching, your books, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Thank you. You can find me at reparent-yourself.com. That's my coaching website. You can also find my children's books at awakentheone.org. I am very active on Twitter. I mean, not Twitter, TikTok and Instagram mostly. Although I do have Twitter and YouTube accounts and all that, but I'm mostly on TikTok and Instagram. And you can find me there. Reparent Yourself.
Reparent yourself. Yes, people, let's about Miss Lisa Watson because if you support her for sure, more and more and more empowering coaching to come, more and more empowering books to come, and for sure, more and more empowering advocacy to come. So, Miss Lisa, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Daniel.
More to come, people. See you soon.